Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing your April blessings / major miracles that will happen in your life in April. As I mentioned in your April predictions video, there's a lot going on, but in this video, I am doing specifically like the good things that will go right for you. So stay tuned for that. This applies to sun, moon, rising, or any part of your zodiac you resonate more with, so feel free to watch for all three or just one of those. Okay, hey Aries, so we're going to talk about your major blessings / major miracle for April, and I already did your April prediction. If you guys haven't seen that, go ahead and go watch it. I'll link it down below. Also, we have like a special guest here. This is my cat. He's like giving himself a shower, so don't mind him. But anyway, so we're gonna get into it now. I pulled a spread for you guys, and I'm gonna explain basically the first part is the blessing you're gonna receive. The second part is your key to victory, so like your key to gaining the success or blessing. And then the third is kind of like your advice and what you should be thinking of or have the intention on in April to receive this blessing. Okay, so first things first, I pulled the King of Pentacles. So in April, this is a really good sign for you just because I feel like the major blessing you're going to receive has to do with financial success. And not only that, I feel like the King of Pentacles is such like a very grounded, very confident energy. As I mentioned in your April predictions video, the sun's going to be in your first house. So you're going to be feeling more confident, more bold, and just like this very kingly energy. Even if you're a woman watching this, you're going to be like in this very kingly vibration. And Pentacles is all about money. So I feel like you're gaining you're gaining some sort of prosperity. It doesn't have to be money. I sense for a lot of Aries, you're going to gain some sort of financial success, but I think for a lot of you guys, it has more to do with your resources. So maybe you need a certain resource that you don't have right now, and then by the end of April, you will receive that. There is a lot of material abundance on the way for you. Mind you, it doesn't have to be just money. I sense from this energy of your spread, it can be really any sort of abundance. So maybe some sort of abundant, like if you need a certain resource for your business, or you need a certain relationship that is key to moving you upward in life, or something like that, whether it be like a social connection, material thing, money, either way, there's financial abundance, material abundance for you, Aries. I feel like this blessing is of course having to do with material abundance, but I also feel like it has to do a lot with the sense of confidence, the sense of direction, knowing where you're going. I feel like that's a huge blessing in general, just because being decisive, being bold about what you want is a beneficial trait in this world, and I feel like you're being blessed with that energy in April during your season, and it's going to be exciting because that bold, decisive energy is going to almost be like a magnet for the material abundance you're going to receive by the end of April. Okay, so let's talk about your key to success / the thing that's going to basically secure your blessings. So I pulled the Queen of Swords for you, and I have this really cute deck. I love the artwork on this deck. But Queen of Swords is this very decisive energy. It's this energy of knowing what you want and being very logical about it. So I feel like the key to your success, the key to your King of Pentacles, your material abundance, is being decisive, being clear. Like I mentioned, I feel like you already have that bold, decisive, confident energy, but Queen of Swords really asks you to initiate a sense of logic as well. So logic is going to be like the key to your success, the key to receiving this blessing, because if you deviate too far from logic and you get too egotistical or you get too delusional, then you will maybe lose your blessings a bit. But if you remain very logical, very confident, decisive, and assess what is best for you, then you will receive the blessings that are pretty much in your favor. Okay, so let's talk about the advice for you for April and as it pertains to your blessings and the miracles that will happen in your life. Okay, so for the advice, I actually pulled two cards just popped out when I shuffled for you. But the first card is the full moon in Taurus card. I'll put it like on the screen, but I'll read it right now. It says, your dreams need a practical plan. So I feel like that ties right into the Queen of Swords. Like there's a sense of practicality needed. There's a sense of logic needed, like true logic that doesn't have emotion in it is really needed for you, because you need that clear vision in order to make clear decisions. And I feel like once you have that clarity mentally, then blessings are just gonna just fall in your lap. But if you're a little bit foggy and indecisive or chaotic mentally, then those blessings don't really show up as vividly as you want them to. And then the second card that came out was Step Out of Your Comfort Zone, the North Node card. So I feel like this card is really about stepping out of maybe those stereotypical Aries traits. I feel like with Aries, the stereotype is that you can be egotistical or too focused on yourself. And I feel like sometimes that can be true. But I feel like what this card is really asking is, or giving the advice of, is to step out of that stereotype, step out of the norm of what you normally do, and you will be rewarded for it. Oh my god, you guys, this is crazy. Oh my god, this synchronicity. Oh my god, okay, so, oh my god, this is so crazy. Okay, so you know how I did your April predictions, and the way that I titled your prediction for April, I kid you not, I did your predictions like 2 days ago. The way I titled it is Fortune Favors the Bold. And this card is step out of your comfort zone. And I feel like that's what you need to do, is like be bold. Oh my god, this is crazy. That's such a crazy synchronicity. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is so crazy. Okay, but anyway, back to the reading. That's so crazy. I feel like that's the energy. That's the message. If you guys didn't get that message in my last video or on my Instagram post, literally fortune favors the bold. And I feel like your boldness and assertiveness is really going to pay off for you in April. But mind you, the one little silver lining is you need to be logical. You need to have that practical plan. You still need to be like grounded in reality. You need to still have that realistic sense of your life, despite the fact you're kind of like on top of the world right now because you have sun in the first house, you're feeling confident, but don't let that take you to places that aren't grounded in reality, logic, and discernment. And as long as you're bold about it, I feel like blessings are just going to come to you. So you do have a lot of great things coming your way in April. And of course, the key to your success is being very logical, discerning, and bold. Hey Taurus, so let's get into your reading. So basically, I'm going to tell you guys your major blessing that's coming through for you in April. Then I'm going to tell you the basically like the path to success, or what you can do to secure this blessing. And then I'm going to tell you guys the advice. And mind you guys, this is a tarot card spread, a tarot card pull. So this is based on your tarot cards. Okay, so let's just get into it. As I mentioned, the first card is the major blessing that you're going to receive in April. So the card I pulled for you is actually the Four of Swords. And so in April, the key word that's just jumping out to me right now is introspection. And that's going to be your biggest blessing and your biggest gift. Now that might seem kind of simple, or it might seem kind of mundane, but like I said in the April predictions video, your sun is going to be in the 12th house. So it's a very quiet, very inwardly turned month for you. And the message I'm receiving right now is that that's going to be the blessing. That's going to be the gift. It's this gift of having that inner, like the gift is you having this very clear inner vision. And that's so valuable, especially in society right now. It's just like you need that clear inner vision to move forward on your path. And if you get too caught up in anxiety or fears, then it kind of traps you in this spiral of chaos. And so I feel like with you in April, you're going to have this inner clarity, this introspective moment or series of moments that brings you to some divine truth, that brings you to your inner truth, and really aligns you with your intuition and your inner divine self in a way that fulfills you and makes you almost like this force to be reckoned with. What I'm hearing now and like the vibe I'm getting is that your blessing is sort of like your thoughts. Like whatever your thoughts are is what will manifest for you. So you really have to be mindful of your thoughts. The Four of Swords is kind of like a card that isn't, it can be kind of like a challenging card. It can represent anxiety and stuff. So I feel like that's something too I should tell you guys about, is that not to get too caught up in your thoughts in a negative way, and try to maintain a very more so positive inner dialogue. Don't get too caught up in like fear or anxiety, because it's not going to manifest blessings for you. It's actually going to block them a bit. Okay, so let's move on to the second card. So this is your key to success and what's going to guarantee you your blessings in April. And so the card I pulled for you is Ace of Cups, and this artwork is really cute. I love this deck so much. So pretty. So basically the Ace of Cups really represents this sense of intuition. I feel like with this spread, it's all about this sense of inner knowing. It's about this inner sense of knowledge. It's not about the external with you in April. And so I feel like the key to your success in April, and the thing that's going to guarantee you your blessings even more, is just having this what's the word, like opportunistic outlook or optimistic outlook. And I really feel like the key is having that abundance mindset, seeing things as opportunities. I think that's the biggest key to your success with this whole introspective theme. It's like, okay, it's one thing to be introspective and solitary and think about stuff by yourself, but it's another thing to see the opportunity within that, see the opportunity within the things that you just ponder on a daily basis, and see things with an abundant mindset. Don't see things with a fear-based mindset. I think that's also the biggest message I'm like getting right now. It's like, just do away with the fear, see the opportunity. See, this card is literally like it's like her cup is overflowing, it's abundant. There's no scarcity in this cup. There's no scarcity in your life, so you don't need to see scarcity. You don't need to be in a fearful mindset because you have it all, and you need to see that. And once you kind of have that perspective, then that's when your blessings come in. So the key for you is your perspective and seeing things in an abundant way, not a scarce way. Okay, so the last card I pulled for you, like I said, it's kind of like the advice, and it is the new moon in Pisces card, and it says meditate and contemplate. So this just kind of like wraps up your entire theme, especially from your last prediction video, because your sun's in the 12th house. 12th house is all about meditation. So I feel like that's your main advice for April, is to meditate, contemplate. Don't be afraid to just really be like, go deep into your inner thoughts, deep into your inner self. There's also like this theme of water present. You have the wateriness of this card, and then like this card's watery as well. So I feel like the element of water is very intuitive. It's very spiritual. And I sense for Taurus, you're going to be in that very spiritual, intuitive space. And as long as you really absorb that moment and be very present in that moment, I think a lot of inner truth and inner dialogue and just abundance will manifest for you very easily, because you're in that inner space where you can't really be disturbed. Okay, so tell me down below if you're a Taurus, sun, moon, or rising, and what's one thing you're looking forward to in April. Hopefully quarantine will be over by then, so tell me one thing down below you're looking forward to, and you guys can follow me on Instagram for more content at AstroKit, and I'll see you Taurus in my next video. Okay, hey Gemini, so let's get into your reading. So what we're gonna do is talk about your major blessing for April, then we're gonna talk about kind of like your key to success in order to secure that blessing, and then the advice for you in April when it comes to your blessings and how to receive them. So I already did your April prediction video, and that's already up on my channel, and that video is basically based on astrology, and this video is based on tarot. So we're gonna get into it. I have your spread here on the table, so let's start with your overall energy, aka your major blessing for April. And I pulled two cards. It's funny because when I was shuffling for you, there were so many cards that kept wanting to come out, and so these two came out, and I pulled the Queen of Cups and the Lovers. And so definitely right away, that's really exciting because it does speak of love and romance. Usually the Lovers card does represent partnership in some way, and this by itself wouldn't really just always be love, but the fact that it's with Queen of Cups really to me manifests as some sort of unification. Definitely unity between you and another person. Now this can be like your soulmate, your true love. If you're already in a partnership, I would say this means like a strengthening of that partnership, or like a deepening of that partnership on an emotional level. So I do feel like your major blessing in April is definitely love, a partnership, a relationship, and this can be within yourself too. This can be just having emotional fulfillment within yourself. However, I do feel like for most Geminis watching this, it will be like a literal relationship. So I do feel like a lot of Geminis are on that track of getting into a partnership, and not only is it just like a partnership, I feel like it's a partnership that is very emotionally fulfilling for you, and something that really, it fulfills your soul. It's not just like a superficial, shallow, flirtationship. I feel like you're really calling in a partnership that is genuine and that fulfills you in an emotional way. And the biggest word I keep hearing for you is unity. So I feel like this can be unity between you and your partner, you and I think the sun's in your 11th house for April. So this can be between you and a friend. Either way, there's a huge there's this, what's the word? It's I guess reunion maybe, or there's just this huge emphasis on unity. So you can really expect some sort of union by the end of April, whether it be a reunion or just a union of you and a partner. Now, this does have a romantic overtone to it, so this can be definitely a romantic partnership, so you can expect that in April as your big blessing. So let's move on to the kind of the key to success for you in April to kind of secure this blessing. So the key to success for you, I pulled the Moon card. Now this card really speaks of seeing through illusions. With the Moon card, it represents in a lot of cases this kind of sense of deception or not seeing things clearly or not seeing things with a logical mind. So I feel like in April, your key to success and your key to this union that's coming through is just being honest with your intuition. I think that's the best way to phrase it, and really aligning with your intuition and really making decisions based on that and seeing through what isn't true, seeing through what isn't, I guess clear for you. I feel like there's this real sense of deception you might come towards, or the sense of deception that might visit you in April, or a situation that is deceptive or a lie or something that's not very clear is going to approach you in April, and you have to have that strength to see through it, that mental strength to see through it. And of course, this big blessing of a partnership is coming to fruition, but you have to see through the lies. You have to see through your own mental, I guess, imaginings that are kind of just based on fear or based in the past. I feel like this is a card where it's not necessarily you're gonna be deceived by someone else, but your own mind can deceive you. So you really have to be mindful of your own mind deceiving you and not, seeing the truth clearly. I know for Geminis, you can overthink things quite a bit, and in April, I feel like it's not going to help you to overthink. So really just whatever your intuition says, whatever, is within you, always listen to that and don't overthink it too much, because when you overthink, I feel like that's when you become deceived and you deceive yourself and delude yourself a bit. Okay, so let's talk about your advice. So the two cards I pulled, again, the cards kept jumping out, so I pulled two instead of one for your last spread. But the first one I pulled is Believe in the Impossible, the Blue Moon card, and then I pulled the What Do You Need to Release card. So I feel like these cards really explain themselves. I'll put a picture on the screen probably, but I feel like believing in the impossible relates back to this moon energy. This moon energy, like I said, it's you overthinking and not using your intuition purely. And so I feel like Believe in the Impossible kind of suggests, okay, sometimes what you intuitively believe can seem kind of impossible. It can seem irrational because your soul doesn't have limits. It doesn't have boundaries. And your mind does. That's why your mind is kind of self-deceptive, right? So I feel like as long as you're believing in the impossible, that impossible vision, that creative vision that comes from within, then that's when you'll receive your blessing and it'll be, guaranteed in your life. And so the second card is What Do You Need to Release? Gemini, I feel like you guys know the answer to that, and you guys definitely need to release probably, I guess, thinking habits is how I would describe it, but I feel like there's a specific way you think or specific thought or subconscious belief that you repeat often to yourself that isn't productive to, your life, and especially your love life. So I feel like the advice with that is to kind of release those release the non-productive thoughts, release overthinking, release the need to mentally try to solve things all the time, and just kind of accept your intuition for what it is. So your major blessing is definitely a union of some kind, a reunion. It has to do with love. So love is definitely in the cards for you, literally. And then your key to success is not being self-deceptive, not being delusional, seeing things clearly and with your intuition. And the advice is to really believe in that intuition with a lot of courage and release the need to overthink things. So you guys can follow me on Instagram at AstroKit, and I'll see you Geminis in my next video. Okay, hey Cancer, so let's get into your reading. We have a special guest, clearly. That's my cat, but don't mind him. Hopefully he's not too distracting. But we're going to talk about basically your major blessing for the month of April. Then we're going to talk about basically like your key to success to secure that blessing, and then the advice. So this is like your tarot spread. So this whole thing is based on your tarot reading. I did your April predictions video already, and that's based on astrology. So if you guys haven't seen that yet, I'll link it down below. That's astrology. This is tarot. So let's just get into it. So the first card I pulled for your major blessing for I can't with him. Okay, the first card I pulled for your major blessing for April is the Ten of Pentacles. So this is really exciting because the Ten of Pentacles is like the ultimate achievement card. And I think I mentioned that in your April predictions video, is like there's a sense of achievement really present for Cancer placements. And I really feel like this card really signifies that the achievement you're going to receive is material success. And I really feel like it's success that's not necessarily like just money. I feel like it's success in the form of some sort of accolade, some sort of award, some sort of elevation in social status, elevation in your career. There's this sense of elevation and achievement for you by the end of April. And I feel like that's the biggest blessing coming your way. And it has to do with completing something. I really feel like for you, it's a well-deserved award. It can be something that you've been working on for a while, something you've been waiting on, something you kind of maybe had like moments where you're like, is this going to manifest? Is this not going to happen? Is it going to happen? And in April, it finally does. 10 is that culmination number, right? And then in Pentacles, we have that material success. So I definitely see material success for you. So expect it in the form of money, definitely, but I can sense it's in the form of some sort of award, accolade, maybe meeting someone that's really important for your success, a relationship, anything like that that is prosperous. It doesn't have to be tangible. It doesn't have to be money. Something relating to material success, though, is on the way for Cancer placements. Okay, so for your key to success in April, the card I pulled for you is the Seven of Pentacles, and this is the card that is patience. That's literally like the word that's jumping out to me. It's just like patience. Seven of Pentacles is, I feel like it goes so well with the first card you pulled. It's like the 10 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles. If we look literally at the imagery, it's like this girl, she planted her seeds and her vision is almost manifesting, right? Your vision is almost there. It's almost there. 7 is so close to 10. And so I feel like your key to success with this blessing in April is to just wait, be patient, and really trust and have faith. I feel like there's this thing for Cancer where it's like there's gonna be like, I feel like your blessing might not come in super early in April. It might come in like on the last day of April, or maybe not even in April, but there's this sense of like you feeling like, okay, where is it? And then it finally happens. So I feel like the key here is to really have faith and be patient in that whole process, because it's coming, but it's just like that moment where you have disappointment is the moment where it slips out of your fingers. So you really have to keep that eye on the bigger vision, the eye on the outcome, and it's going to happen for you, but you just have to be a little bit patient. So that's your message with the key to success. And then last but not least, the advice for you. For this card, I pulled the New Moon in Capricorn card, and it says, your hard work is paying off. And isn't that so fitting? I feel like there's definitely a lot of hard work you've been putting in, Cancer, and I definitely feel like it has to do with maybe your professional life or your career. But either way, I feel like your hard work is paying off. I feel like this card is pretty literal and pretty accurate. So I feel like the success you're going to experience is really well deserved. And I'm really excited for Cancer. I feel like you deserve whatever is coming to you, and it's going to really improve your life and improve your contentment with life overall. I think the advice too with this card is just to keep putting in that same effort. I feel like that's another word that's like popping out with your reading is consistency and persistency. I don't think that's a word, but consistent, being consistent and persistent is the key for you in April. And as long as you're being persistent and consistent and having faith and envisioning that outcome, it's going to happen for you. It's guaranteed. And I feel like for a lot of Cancers, it's going to happen. Just make sure you have that consistent faith and it will manifest. So if you guys haven't seen your April predictions, I'll link it down below. Also, you guys can follow me on Instagram at AstroKit. And tell me down below your sun, moon, or rising sign, like if you're Cancer, sun, moon, or rising, and what's one thing you're looking forward to in April. And I'll see you Cancers in my next video. Okay, Leos, so let's get into your reading. So today we have a special guest, clearly. That's my cat. Hopefully he's not too distracting, but anyway, so let's get into it. So in this reading, I'm going to tell you guys your major blessing for April, the major miracle that's happening in your life, and then we're going to talk about your key to success and your key to securing this blessing, and then we're going to talk about the advice. So this is a tarot card spread. I have my cards right here. I'll show you guys in a second what they are, and then I did your astrology prediction video already. It's on my channel. I'll link it down below if you guys haven't seen it, but the other April predictions video is astrology. This one's tarot. So let's just jump into it. Okay, so let's talk about your major blessing for the month, and the first card I pulled for you is the Three of Wands. So this is a pretty exciting card for you to pull because the Three of Wands is all about this sense of freedom, this sense of achievement. I feel like there is a blessing coming your way that is really well deserved and long earned. As we talked about in your April predictions video, I feel like you have a vision you're trying to manifest, something big, something that's like from your soul, not just like a petty wish or a petty desire. I feel like there's something from your soul you want to manifest, and it's happening in April. And I definitely feel like with this card, he's like taking a shower. I definitely feel like with this card, it's the epitome of your hard work paying off. And I feel like whatever you've been working hard on, whatever you've been envisioning, it's happening in April, like period, it's happening. And so this Three of Wands is literally kind of like waiting for your ships to dock and really just basking in that moment of like, okay, my manifestation happened. Like what I wrote down, what I manifested, what I, did a vision journal about, it's happening now. I feel like you're going to have that moment in April. It's going to be so like satisfying for you, so gratifying that your manifestation is manifesting. And I feel like your big blessing is, of course, the manifestation that's going to happen for you, but it's not just the literal manifestation. It's really that feeling and vibration of achieving it. And so another aspect of the blessing for you is that the Three of Wands is also this card that represents travel. It represents expansion and freedom. So that can manifest many different ways. Maybe obviously travel isn't like, I don't know, on the agenda for you right now, just because I almost called it swine flu because of the like the quarantine and the coronavirus and stuff like that. But still, I feel like there's travel plans that you might be making in April, or kind of planning out something in the future. I definitely see you planning a lot for the future in April, and I feel like the blessing is that it's going to happen for you. Whatever you try to manifest or initiate in April, it's going to happen. And there's like a lot of positive energy surrounding your intentions you set in April, and especially if it involves travel, expansion. I think there's a lot, like for some Leos, you're going to be moving too. So if you're moving, there's like positive energy around that too. Or if you would like to move into like a new house, new apartment, there's positive energy around that. So there's like a lot of blessings wrapped into one, but overall I feel like it has to do with expansion, travel, moving, and this can be like in a mental sense too. And just this expanded, fulfilling life, and seeing your manifestations like really become reality, and having your hard work pay off is your major blessing. Okay, so let's talk about the key to your success in April and what actions you can take to secure your blessings even more. So the two cards I pulled for you for your key to success are the Justice card, and I also pulled the Two of Wands. Now, these two cards really speak of making a decision. And so I definitely feel like there's a major decision you have to make in April. Now, these two cards are very similar. I'll kind of describe the difference though. The Two of Wands is kind of making a decision about something, but being very grounded in it. I feel like the Two of Wands is the energy of already deciding something. So maybe you've already decided something and you just have to take action on it. It's kind of like that energy. And then the Justice card is asking kind of like, or kind of describing someone who is very logical. So I feel like your key to success in April to secure this blessing that you're gonna really bring into your life is just be logical, be discerning, and decide things and stay in that decision, if that makes sense. I feel like being firm with your decisions in April is what is going to take you to success. And I feel like with when you're waiting for something to manifest or you're waiting for your hard work to pay off, you can kind of get flustered. You can kind of be like, okay, maybe I should do this or this. And then you end up kind of confusing yourself, confusing the blessing ultimately. But I feel like as long as you're decisive and you stand firm in your vision, you stand firm in what you want to see and manifest, it's going to happen. And also there's some logic that needs to be applied to, some clarity, some balance. So as long as you're looking at things in a very balanced way, as long as you're seeing things kind of like a mirror, so you're seeing it on one side and seeing the outcome. I feel like this card represents mirrors too. So as long as you're seeing both sides of things and seeing things in a logical and balanced way, then obviously your manifestation is going to happen. And as long as you're standing firm in that vision, it's definitely going to happen for you. And so let's talk a little bit about the advice for you. Now, this isn't really advice, but it's just like the card that I pulled for you, and it says you're very close to achieving your goal. So isn't that just perfect? I feel like that wraps up the whole reading really well. And I feel like I don't even have to explain it. It's just really literal. It's like you're very close to achieving your goal. And I feel like you're just on the brink of achieving something you've always wanted. And I'm really excited for Leos. I think I mentioned that in your April predictions video, but you're definitely close. You're right there. Make sure you stand firm in that and remain balanced in that, and don't get too confused or chaotic despite like what's going on in the world right now, and it will manifest for you. So tell me down below if you're a Leo, sun, moon, or rising, and what's one thing you're looking forward to in April. And then also you guys can follow me on Instagram at AstroKit, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Okay, hey Virgo, so let's get into your reading. So we're going to talk about your major blessing in April. We're also going to talk about the key to your blessing manifesting and kind of like actions you can take to secure this blessing. And then we're going to talk about basically the advice for all of this. So I did your tarot spread. This video is based on tarot. I did your astrology predictions already on my channel, so if you guys haven't seen that, I'll link it down below. But this is based on tarot, so let's just get into it. So the first card I pulled for you is your major blessing, and that card that I pulled is the Three of Swords. And so right away, this card is, it doesn't always have like a positive connotation to it, but I feel like with Virgo and how this manifests in your life as a blessing is that I feel like there's a blessing in disguise on the way to you, or a blessing within some sort of situation that might seem disappointing at first, that might seem heartbreaking. Of course, this is like the heartbreak card, and I don't want to say like you're gonna experience heartbreak, but I feel like there's some maybe like disappointment or something where it seems disappointing on the outside, or it seems like there's no opportunity with it. But I feel like the biggest blessing is in that disappointment, if that makes sense. It's almost like there's like this opportunity within some sort of failure, or something you didn't think was going to manifest, or something that didn't manifest for you. There's some sort of hidden blessing within that. So of course, granted, this can have to do with love, and I can see it manifesting for some Virgos where it's like maybe you break up with someone, but it's sort of like a blessing within that, or you kind of dodged a bullet with someone that you're dating. And I would just say it's like, don't be disappointed just because something doesn't work out right away. I feel like there is a hidden blessing within that. And of course, that's very specific to your own life. And so that leads me to your key to success in April. I did pull the Four of Cups. Now this card right away, I'm hearing like, don't be stubborn. I feel like there's an opportunity that wants to make its way to you, but you have to not be stubborn about it. You have to see like the blessing within it. Again, I feel like it goes with the first part of like, okay, yeah, sure, there's disappointment, maybe there's heartbreak, but there is a blessing within that heartbreak. And that's just like the imagery on the cards. I don't know if you guys can see, but see, like she's being handed something that's very valuable, that is worthy of her attention, but sometimes you can act a little bit stubborn when you're receiving blessings. So make sure that like, I feel like your key to success is not being disappointed and accepting defeat right away. It's about seeing the silver lining within things and seeing the value and opportunity within things. That's the biggest thing I'm hearing too. It's like seeing the opportunity within chaos or disaster and somehow transmuting that into your own success. And so that brings me to the advice card I pulled. And I pulled the South Node card, and it says, don't let your past hold you back. And right away too with the South Node card, South Node card is or the South Node is a very karmic point in astrology. So there's like this element of karma at play, and I feel like the advice here is to not get too caught up in that. Don't get too caught up in your past actions, maybe being stubborn or not seeing like the opportunity in things is kind of like a past action that holds you back sometimes, or something that isn't progressive for you. And also too, I feel like with Four of Cups, it suggests not accepting help. I feel like that's the key to your success in April, is to accept help, to not reject it. I think Four of Cups is a very rejection kind of card, and I feel like your key to success is not just rejecting things upon first view or upon first impression. And I feel like the advice in all of that is to not let your past hold you back, not let your past actions, your past mentalities, just things that aren't useful to you, you know, that residual karmic energy that's not useful to you, don't let it hold you back. And I feel like you'll receive your blessing that much more vividly when you do see the opportunity in things, you don't reject help, and you don't get caught up in old karmic patterns. So tell me down below if you're a Virgo sun, moon, or rising, and what is one thing you're looking forward to in April. And then also you guys can follow me on Instagram at AstroKit for more astrology content. So I'll see you Virgos in my next video. Okay, Libra, so let's get into your reading. So we're going to talk about your major blessing in April. Then we're going to talk about sort of like your key to success and how to secure that blessing, and then the advice for the entire situation. So this video is based on your tarot card spread. I have your cards right here. I did your April predictions already, and that's based on astrology. So that other video is based on astrology. This one is tarot, and I'll link the other one down below if you haven't seen it yet. So let's just get started. Obviously we have a special guest today. It's my cat. So anyway, so the very first cards I pulled for you, and this represents the major blessing you will experience in April. So I pulled the Three of Pentacles and I pulled the Knight of Pentacles. And so right away, I feel like there's some sort of offer being made to you in April. And definitely it can be a work offer. I feel like there's some sort of invitation to collaborate on a project in April that is very pivotal in your life. Now, this might be romantic as well. We'll kind of talk about the romantic part in a second, but right away, I feel like there's like some sort of professional success for you on the way, and it has to do like a key point or a key action you have to take in order to manifest that professional success is collaborating with someone or collaborating with some sort of project in order to achieve that. So I think in April, you're gonna experience that collaboration, and it's going to be a huge blessing in your life. I feel like it's going to be a collaboration you've always wanted, or some sort of meeting you've always wanted, something where you're collaborating with someone you've always wanted to collaborate with, and this could be mostly like on a professional level. And so there can be also an offer in a love sense, because this Knight of Pentacles, it's a romantic card, and your 7th house is pretty activated in April. So I wouldn't be surprised if you had some like Casanova or like some offer from someone romantically. So you can expect either an offer of romance, an offer of a relationship, or an offer relating to work, collaboration. I definitely think you might receive some sort of really important email. I feel like you can just be like not even expecting it and like receive an email to work on something, or receive an email that has to do with financial success for you. Either way, there's an invitation, there's an offer either of love or professional success or collaboration, or even both. So I see those blessings for you, Libra. And so that brings me to the key to success for you. So the key to success for you is something you can do, something you have to take action on to secure the blessing I just mentioned, or blessings for you. So the key to success, I pulled the Devil card reversed. And so this is really significant. I feel like this represents you letting go of old karmic patterns. The Devil card is this card of restriction, of restraints. And a lot of times it's like, it represents how we restrain ourselves, how we put ourselves in boxes or mental boxes. So I feel like with this offer that's coming in, this invitation, you have to let go of certain things. Like you have to let go of certain patterns and make room for it. I feel like there's maybe something in your life that might be blocking the manifestation. And in April, you are learning how to let go of it, release it, for that new energy to come in. In order for new energy to come in, you have to make space for it. And I feel like this card is kind of saying that, like, make space for that, let go of things that make you feel enchained or make you feel trapped. I feel like there's this energy of freedom being inserted into your life, and you have to let go of those old karmic patterns to let the new blessings come in. So your advice for having this blessing come in for you is the full moon in Aquarius card, and it says, show the world the real you. So definitely I feel like there's this sense of authenticity, the sense of honesty. And for you, Libra, like, being honest with yourself, like, I feel like that's definitely a theme for you in April, and a key to manifesting your blessing is being honest with yourself and not deceiving yourself, not being delusional, and just projecting that authenticity outward. I feel like authenticity is a key word for you in April, and not deviating from that and not being self-deceptive or anything like that. And I really feel like that goes hand in hand with the Devil reversed card. And so I feel like the Devil reversed card is all about the sense of releasing what no longer serves you. And I feel like this card kind of reaffirms that in order to do that, you have to be really authentic, honest, and truthful with yourself and not deceive yourself. So I feel like that's kind of like the energy in terms of like advice and key to success for you. And definitely there's an offer or invitation coming your way in April. And so tell me down below if you are a Libra, sun, moon, or rising, and what's one thing you're looking forward to in April. And then you guys can follow me on Instagram at AstroKit for more astrology content, and I'll see you Libras in my next video. Okay, hey Scorpios, so let's get into your reading. Now we're going to talk about your major blessing in April. We're also going to talk about your key to success and your key to securing this blessing in April. And then we're going to talk about your advice on this whole situation. So I pulled your cards. Now this is a tarot reading. So the other prediction video I did for you guys, that was astrology. This is tarot. I'll link the other video down below if you haven't seen it yet. And so let's just get into it. And we have a special guest today, obviously. So don't mind my cat back there. But anyway, so the very first card I pulled is going to be your major blessing for April. So that card is the Six of Pentacles. And so right away, I feel like your major blessing is going to come through the help of someone else. I feel like someone's going to offer you something that you need. There's going to be this moment in April where you have to accept or receive help from someone else, whether that be, it doesn't have to be romantic. Usually this kind of suggests kind of like romantic help, but I feel like this help is going to come in the form of maybe emotional support, maybe some sort of fulfillment, maybe a reunion with someone. It can have to do with family as well. So maybe you receive help from a family member, and that's like your blessing in April. And it's definitely something you really need. I definitely feel like Scorpio can sometimes maybe not ask for help or kind of be very self-sufficient. I feel like you're a very self-sufficient sign. And so I feel like you're going to receive help that you really need. And maybe it's sort of like someone was watching you struggle and then they want to offer help to you. It's not like something you asked for outright. And I feel like that's the major blessing you're going to receive. So that brings me to the key to success for you in April and what's really going to help you secure this blessing even more. And so the card I pulled for you is the Seven of Swords. And so I feel like this card is really significant and really represents you looking and paying attention to what's right in front of you. Sometimes we miss our blessings because we're focused on this thing or that thing, or we're just kind of confused and not really focused on ourselves in the present moment. And this really speaks of your mental processes as well. So this really speaks of you really being grounded in the present moment, being mentally focused. I think concentration was one of the major keywords for your April prediction, and I feel like that's reinserting itself now, where it's like concentration and focusing on what's in front of you is going to bring this blessing to you. And the blessing does have to do with receiving help, so really focusing your efforts on your own projects. I feel like people are going to want to help you because you're so focused on yourself and you have that mental clarity. And I feel like another kind of like warning with Seven of Swords is to not be don't get too caught up in deception. The Seven of Swords is like the archetypical like deception type of card, so you really have to be careful not to deceive yourself and really watch out for other people maybe deceiving you. But I really feel like this speaks of you maybe deceiving yourself more than other people. So I feel like the major key to success for you is really paying attention to what's right in front of you, being very mentally focused, mentally clear, I guess, or having that mental clarity and not like deceiving yourself too much. So that brings me to your advice. So the advice card I pulled for you is the full moon in Sagittarius card, and it says, look at the bigger picture. Definitely, I feel like this goes with the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is this card where I almost envision someone having like sort of like mental blocks or kind of not seeing, what is the saying? It's like not seeing 2 feet in front of you. And I feel like this card is really reaffirming that and saying like you need to see the grand scope of things. And really, I feel like it leads back to this theme of not deceiving yourself. The full moon in Sagittarius card, it really requires a lot of like honesty, a lot of courage, and being honest about what you think and how you perceive things. And I really feel like honesty is kind of like the advice for you in April, and also just seeing things from a broader perspective, from a bigger perspective, almost from like a very objective space, almost like if you step out of a situation and then view it, that will benefit you more than being so caught up in your mind, and then that's when you start deceiving yourself. So definitely in April, I feel like your major blessing is that you're going to receive help in some way, and this might be in the form of emotional support, maybe money, or some sort of help that you really need in your life in April. And the key to your success is not getting too caught up in your own mental processes or kind of deceiving yourself and not not seeing what's right in front of you. I feel like the key is to really be grounded mentally in the present moment. And then the advice, of course, is to see the bigger picture. Don't get trapped in your mind too much and see things from a very objective perspective. And so tell me down below if you're a Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising, and then what's one thing you're excited for in April. Also, you guys can follow me on Instagram at AstroKit for more astrology content, and I'll see you Scorpios in my next video. Okay, hey Sagittarius, so let's get into your reading. Now we're going to talk about the biggest blessing you're going to receive in April. We're also going to talk about basically your key to success and how to secure that blessing, like actions you can take to secure that blessing. And then we're going to talk about the advice on the whole situation. Now this is based on your tarot card spread I just pulled for you. And I did your astrology predictions already on my channel. I'll link it down below if you haven't seen it already. But this video is basically based on tarot. So let's start off with your biggest blessing of the month. Now this spread, oh my god, this spread, you guys. We'll get into it, but the first card I pulled is the Six of Wands, and this represents your major blessing in April. And so this is exciting to see just because Six of Wands is the victory card. Like if you wanted any sure sign of victory, this is the card you want to see. So you're definitely receiving some sort of victory in March. We have a special guest here who's doing the most, but okay. He's a Leo rising, so it makes sense. But anyways, so basically you have Six of Wands, the victory card, and there is, I think in April, the sun is going to be in your 5th house. So there can be a victory related to your creative projects, related to your hobbies. Either way, I think I mentioned in your April predictions that there's a major victory on your way, and it's like you're on the brink of success somehow. So whether that be in your professional life or your creative life, there is something that is coming to a head, something that is manifesting for you, and I definitely see it with this card. So just depending on your life, obviously the victory you will receive, it's not the same for everyone. So just think about it, think about what you want to manifest, and think about what you really want to happen. And in April, I feel like for a lot of Sagittarius, it is going to happen. It is going to manifest for them as a major victory and success. And specifically for a lot of you guys, I feel like it has to do with something that you're creatively passionate about. Again, sun is in your 5th house for April. 5th house is this house of creativity, hobbies, soul expression, and wands is also like the energy of creativity. So whatever creative projects you're working on, or maybe there's some sort of art project you're working on, or something that has to do with your creativity, you're going to see success within it in April. Okay, so that brings me to your second card, which is the key to your success and basically what you can do to secure your blessing even more in April. So you pulled the Strength card. Okay, so with this Strength card, I love the artwork on this. It looks really cute. But anyway, so with this Strength card, I feel like this is about obviously having strength, sure, but I feel like it's about like the key to your success in April is having strength in your vision. The Strength card is obviously about strength, but I feel like it's about having this inner confidence, this not even confidence, but just like this knowing, this self-assuredness that what you want is manifesting. I feel like on the card, literally, you can see like she's kind of like unbothered. She has her lion, and she's really like self-assured. So I feel like that's the main key to your success in April, is to have that self-assurance and just know that your victory is coming. It's on its way, and don't be too impatient about it because it's definitely manifesting as long as you keep that firm vision. So I feel like this relates to honesty and truth and being true to yourself and your soul. So I feel like that's another key to your success in April, is definitely being true to yourself, your soul, and whatever like you feel energetically is really what the truth is, and it's really purposeful and meaningful if you follow that. Okay, so that brings me to your advice, and you're not going to believe the card I pulled. So I pulled the new moon in Sagittarius card, very fitting, and it says luck is on your side. And so with this card, I feel like it definitely affirms this victory that is coming your way. It's definitely coming your way. Like nothing is really going to stop it. And I feel like you just have a lot of energy in the universe right now that's like conspiring towards your success. And I feel like whatever you do is going to have a lucky kind of outcome for you in April. And I feel like you're going to do like something unexpectedly and have some sort of really positive outcome you didn't really expect. And I feel like that might have to do with the victory you're going to receive too. So it can be a little bit unexpected, but at the same time, it's like a very lucky circumstance you do come into in April. So overall, that's really great energy for you. I feel like your big blessing has to do with obviously a victory coming your way, and it might have to do with a creative project. And as long as you have that firm, strong vision, it will manifest. And then of course, luck is on your side, so it's going to manifest. So Sagittarius, comment down below if you're a Sag, Sun, Moon, or Rising, and what's one thing you're excited for in April. Also, you guys can follow me on Instagram at AstroKit, and I'll see you Sagittarius in my next video. Okay, Capricorn, so let's get into your reading. Now we're going to talk about first your biggest blessing you're going to receive in April, and then we're going to talk about basically like your path to get there, or your key to success, so to speak. And then we're going to talk about your advice around the whole situation. Now this video is based on tarot. I did your astrology prediction and the videos on my channel already, so I'll link it down below if you guys haven't seen it. So this video is basically just your tarot, and then the other video is your astrology for April. So let's get into it. Now we're going to start with the overall card, which is your blessing for the month, and the overall card I pulled for you is the Five of Pentacles. Now this is an interesting card to pull just because it's not necessarily the card you want to pull when you're like thinking about blessings, but I feel like with this card it talks about financial loss, it talks about financial hardship. So especially for you, Capricorn, there's like a lot of planets in your sign right now. There's a lot of squares happening in your chart, so I definitely see some financial hardship or financial loss for you. However, I feel like this can manifest as a blessing in disguise for you. Maybe there's some certain lesson you learn in April that can be challenging on like face value at first, but within it there's like a silver lining where you learn so much from one situation or one hardship, and it results in a lot of wisdom for you. In general, I think in the collective right now, and especially in April, there's going to be like a lot of financial upsets, a lot of financial disruption in the economy. Obviously, like there's like a recession coming up. So I feel like Capricorn is going to feel that a bit. However, I mean, it's not just you alone, but I do feel like you are going to feel it a lot because there's a lot of planets in your sign. And although there might be some hardships, I feel like you're going to transmute that. And I feel like that's your biggest blessing, is learning and gaining wisdom from any hardship you do experience. Okay, so that leads me to like your key to success in April and what's going to help you secure your blessings. So the cards that I pulled for you were the Five of Swords and the Six of Swords reversed. So it's really interesting because you pulled Five of Swords and you pulled Five of Pentacles, so two fives. So there's kind of like, oh, this is like chaotic energy. I can't even lie to you guys. This is like, I don't know, I feel like there's a warning at hand here. I feel like there's something where it's like, you have to be very vigilant about something in a mental sense and be wary. I feel like it has to do with finance. It has to do with material, like possessions somehow. So you really have to be wary of how you spend your money and whether or not you're self-sabotaging. I feel like these two cards kind of speak of this theme of self-sabotage and kind of stopping that habit if you do have that habit. And there's sort of like a delay. I don't know, there's like this delay that might have to do with money, or there's some situation that you might go through in April that's a bit challenging. But I feel like the key to success for you is being very mentally clear and having a mentally balanced mind. With this swords energy, it just really brings to mind that having a chaotic mind won't be conducive to you receiving what you want. I feel like having a balanced mind, having a clear mind is gonna really propel your blessings forward and bring you a more positive outcome. And so the advice I pulled for you is the New Moon in Cancer card, and it says, you and your loved ones are safe. So I definitely feel like there's this theme of security as well, like financial security. With this Cancer energy in this card, it's like basically saying there is security ahead for you, and there's financial security ahead as well. But have that idea in mind, like keep that faith alive that there's security at the end of the tunnel, there's a brighter outcome. And even if you do experience a bit of chaos, or maybe just self-sabotage or sabotage in general, that there is still that sense of home, there's that sense of security, that sense of financial security. So overall for you, Capricorn, there is I would say blessing in disguise here, but I won't sugarcoat it and say like this is like the best spread ever. But I feel like there's a challenge you'll experience and you'll overcome it, and you'll only do that through your sense of faith and discernment and not being too deceptive about what the truth really is. So tell me down below if you're a Capricorn, sun, moon, or rising, and what's one thing you might look forward to in April. And also you can follow me on Instagram at AstroKit for more astrology content, and I'll see you Capricorns in my next video. Okay, Aquarius, so let's get into your reading. Now we're going to talk about your major blessing for April, and so we're also going to talk about basically like your key to success and your path to achieving that blessing or securing that blessing, and then we're going to talk about your advice on the whole situation. Now this video is based on tarot. I have your spread laid out here. I'll show you guys in a second. And then I already did your astrology prediction for April. So this video is tarot. The other video is astrology, and I'll link it down below if you guys haven't seen it. So let's just get into it. So the major blessing I pulled for you and the two cards I pulled for you are the Eight of Wands and the King of Swords. And so with this energy, I feel like this has to do with you receiving a very clear message and receiving something powerful and very quickly. And I feel like it's I feel like it's an idea. It's not really something physical. I think I mentioned in your April predictions video that the Sun and Mercury is going to be in your third house. So I can see this manifesting as some sort of blessing related to an idea you have. It's almost like maybe you're struggling with money, or you're struggling with maybe like mental health or something like that, and you just think of an idea and it kind of helps whatever situation you're in. And I almost see it manifesting as like, oh wait, why didn't I think of this before? Like I see Aquarius having this really brilliant idea, or gaining this really brilliant clarity about something. Either way, it's gonna come to you very quickly in a kind of surprising or unexpected way, but it's gonna be a really huge blessing to your life because it provides you a lot of clarity and a lot of kind of discernment and seeing what is really true. And for some Aquarius, I could see this manifesting as sort of like a revelation or just a really powerful realization about something. So overall, I feel like your blessing has to do with you gaining a really great idea, like a brilliant idea, a money-making idea, some sort of new perspective, new clarity, or just this overall, this like new revelation. And you're going to receive it in a unexpected way or surprising way, and it's going to be very transformative to your life. And so that brings me to the key to your success to receiving this blessing, and the card I pulled is the Four of Swords. So as you guys can see, the artwork is really nice on this card. But the Four of Swords, I feel like that really speaks of you being very introspective. When I think of Four of Swords energy, it's very like, okay, let me stop what I'm doing and just think. Let me think this one through. I think that's your key to success in April, is just thinking things through. There's a lot of like intellectual energy in this spread, and the Sun's going to be in your third house, which is a very like intellectual house. So I feel like third house energy can kind of be a little bit chaotic sometimes. So I feel like your key to success is just sitting down and thinking, like sitting down, having those moments of introspection, having those moments of solidarity, and just really thinking to yourself about what is like a advantageous move for you, what is an advantageous action to take, and not taking action too hastily. So I feel like that's the key to your success, is just sitting down, thinking things over and analyzing them, and not acting too hastily on decisions, and really not being afraid to turn inward and think alone and not just have other people influence your decision making. So that brings me to the advice card that I pulled for you, and I pulled the full moon in Cancer card, and it says a personal issue reaches a resolution. So I feel like the advice with this card about this whole situation is that I feel like it really has to do with that kind of mental, like the way you think. I feel like the way you think is going to be something you're really aware of in April. And I feel like this card really affirms that it's going to reach a resolution. You're going to achieve a major blessing, a major idea, but it's almost like you're in your own way sometimes, like mentally, like you'll have mental blocks or not be too focused, or not just think things through too thoroughly. And I feel like this card is sort of affirming like, okay, it's going to reach a resolution. It's going to come to fruition for you, but you have to really kind of be introspective, be reflective about it. This Cancer energy is very reflective as well, and it's really about the sense of looking back and looking into your own thoughts. And I feel like that's the major advice for you for April. Hopefully for you, Aquarius, you're going to receive a really brilliant idea or a new way of thinking that's really going to transform your life in some way. And your key to success is being very introspective and being very reflective as well. I think that's the key word here, is being reflective mentally and being very vigilant about your thoughts and how you view things. And so tell me down below if you're an Aquarius, sun, moon, or rising, and what's one thing you're looking forward to in April. And then also you guys can follow me on Instagram at AstroKit for more astrology content, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Okay, hey Pisces, so let's get started on your reading. Now we're going to talk about your major blessing you're going to receive in April. Then we're also going to talk about basically like your key to getting there, like your key to success of securing this blessing. And then we're going to talk about your advice for this whole situation. So I have your spread, I have your reading right here. Now this video is based on tarot, and I did your guys April predictions based on astrology, and I'll link that video down below if you guys haven't seen it. And this video is based on tarot. So let's get into it. As you guys can see, we have a special guest who wanted to be in my video. So these first cards represent your major blessing in April. So I pulled the Queen of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Cups. So we have a lot of Pentacles energy going on for you, which is fitting because you have Sun in the second house for most of April. So let's talk about it. So with this blessing, I feel like there's this sense of material success for you, and it's coming in the form of being very grounded. So very grounded probably in your finances. And I feel like the major blessing you're going to receive is just financial abundance. Now this is abundance that is very, what's the word for it? It's not very frivolous. I feel like this abundance you're receiving is almost very fundamental to your life. It's like very foundational. Like you're receiving like some sort of plan for success, or something that will secure your success for a long period of time. This isn't a blessing where it's just like, oh, that's a nice thing I received one day and then you forget about it. This is something that is very long lasting throughout your life. And so what I thought was so interesting is that you pulled the Knight of Cups too. I don't know if you guys can see it, if it'll focus, but Knight of Cups, it really signifies some sort of offer, and specifically maybe a love offer. So for some of you Pisces, I do see some love offers coming in, although I see you being very focused in April. I don't see you being too like that usual, like I don't see you being in that usual like Pisces like dream delusion whatever space. I see you being more focused on your finances and your resources, and I feel like you're gonna gain a blessing that is very beneficial to you in terms of finances and resources. However, for some of you guys, I do see some sort of Knight of Cups, maybe someone asks to be your boyfriend, or somebody just offers some sort of romantic gesture towards you. So for some of you guys, I feel like you can experience both of those things. So maybe somebody offers you some sort of emotional commitment or emotional fulfillment or something, and then you also experience material success as well, or financial stability. So I feel like you're going to be very financially stable, or at least on the right track to achieve that in April, and that is your big blessing. And I feel like the whole vibration of your blessing is very steady. I get this very steady, like, almost image when I like think of the energy of these cards. And I feel like whatever blessing you're receiving, like I said, it's not very instant. It's not like just like, oh, here's this shiny thing. I feel like it's very stable, long lasting, and steady, and will really feel like some sort of foundation is being given to you. And so that brings me to your key to success. So the card I pulled for you that represents that is the Eight of Pentacles. And of course, I also pulled that for your blessing too. So you pulled Eight of Pentacles twice. And so I feel like with this card, the key to your success is the sense of diligence, the sense of focus. I think that's the biggest message, and I guess advice that this spread is saying, and like what Spirit is saying, is focus on your work, be diligent, don't let up. Like, don't let up at all and be distracted and focus on frivolous things. I feel like your key to success lies in you being disciplined, you being focused, you being diligent on your material success. I feel like I mentioned that in your April prediction, where you're going to be very sunken into the material world in April, and I feel like that's the whole key. That's the thing. If you want your blessings, if you want your financial stability, if you want your success in the material realm, you have to be really focused on it. And I feel like focus and diligence and concentration is your biggest key here. And so that brings me to the final card and your advice for April. And this is just like the biggest synchronicity ever. Like, it says, look what it says, you guys. I don't know if you can see it, but this is the new moon in Aries card, and it says it's time to take action. And actually, when I'm filming this, it is the new moon in Aries today. So Pisces, I feel like this message is very self-explanatory, and I feel like this new moon in Aries is really giving you that push and courage and boldness to be diligent, to be focused. And I feel like that's energy that can be hard for Pisces. It's hard for them to like be grounded in the material realm, but as long as you take action and you're bold and you're fearless about it, I feel like that's going to be the key to your success. And that's the biggest advice here, is to be bold, take action towards your goals, towards what you want to achieve, and don't let up, don't be distracted, and be very diligent about what you truly want to manifest, and it will manifest for you. So yeah, ultimately your blessing is coming your way, and all you have to do is be very diligent and take action. And if you're manifesting for the new moon, definitely manifest maybe some sort of courage, financial success, anything like that, and it will manifest very quickly for you. So tell me down below if you're a Pisces sun, moon, or rising, and one thing you're excited about for April, and I'll see you Pisces in my next video. Also, you guys can follow me on Instagram at AstroKit, and I will see you guys in my next video.